So, hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Claire. This channel is about empowering you on your twin flame journey, your inner divine feminine, your inner divine masculine, empowering you to empower yourself. And yeah, I was going to do the divine detox. We're working on the mind this week up until Wednesday. And again, like I say on all of these, I'm always helping mind, body, spirit, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical health and helping people with manifestation and blah blah blah. So it's really, this is all stuff I do all the time, but it's just I like to focus in on each week. So sorry, that's my nails on the wee one. So there might be something about needing your strength or action because I'm tapping my fingers on the wee Wonder Woman mug. Oh my god, actually. I mean, I suppose it isn't that weird with me because I am total Wonder Woman daft, but I've got my Wonder Woman PJs on as well, so I can't prove that to you. You'll just have to believe me. Because I've actually got doublers of a pair of jammies because I bought myself it one year and then my best pal knows me that well. She got me it for my Christmas, so it was so. And she was like, "Oh, you're all getting something." I was like, "No, no, no, I'm keeping it." Do you know what I mean? Because why not? But they're comfy, and I've got one. I'm gonna have to. Well, I'm not chucking it away. I've already chucked away the trousers from my first Wonder Woman pajamas because they were just, when it's like the waistband is so loose that it just falls like every that's how it was getting to, so it was like I couldn't be keeping that one. Um let's hope I'm complaining of that further down the line. The waistband was so loose that I had to join. It certainly wasn't because I lost weight anyway, it was just because of over time. But anyway, so okay, well, there could be stuff about weight here with me going on about things like that, and it doesn't need to be literal. It could be like something feels like a heavy weight around your mind, because it is the mind, and because that's what I've just said first. So we'll just see where we go with this. Because I've got in a habit of doing the SOS message first. I'm being guided to just, so if you've not seen these before, this is just a message that I call an SOS message, and I tend to keep them, roughly around 15-20 minutes. If it ends up being longer, it's usually about 30 minutes, but we'll just see what comes out. It is kind of interesting that when I've been drawn to this deck, that's on top, like enough said. So let's just read what that says. It's amazing how much energy it takes just to talk and listen and how noisy it gets. Balance time for words with time for silence. You can take a personal retreat at home just by unplugging the phone and posting a note on the door. That's interesting because right now as I'm filming this, it's Cancer Moon, and that is about quiet retreat and sleep and rest. And the shadow side of it is trauma as well. You may find a deeper silence at a formal meditation centre or solo camping trip. If you live with others and can't get away, just pin a note on your shirt in loving silence. It will make the people around you more aware of how much noise we live with and how lovely a little silence can be. I like these because the women's sense of humour is kind of like, quite sarcastic, like myself, and probably quite a lot of yous if you hang around and stick in with me. You must be able to handle that kind of humour. Right, so I'll shuffle them. I'm not guided to whatever that one's. Wait a minute, I wonder what it is about. Keeping track of your oh wait a minute, that is relevant. Keeping track of your finances doesn't have to cramp your style. It can liberate you to splurge every now and again, then without paying dearly for it later. If you stuff unopened account statements into a drawer or throw receipts away and hope for the best, then you're probably not sleeping very soundly. Come to see how that could be a heavy weight on somebody's mind. Come out of the misty land of denial and enjoy the clarity and centeredness and balancing of your accounts. Now, the clever way that my guides and God work through me, and they've done this the whole, like for as long as I can remember. Because what always springs to mind is when I used to work in a physical shop, like a crystal shop, like many, many, many years ago. Sometimes I would be like putting across the message like it was something to do with somebody's work, but it was weirdly something to do with somebody's relationship or childhood, and you're like, how can that work? But just trust me, it does. If you listen in, it's more important. Just ignore that I'm talking about it being about money or finances. And it's the words that matter. You could be like, wait a minute, that's about my relationship, or that's about this. So just, and I don't know, I don't often know. Like, most of the time I don't know. So the next step is to make a budget and keep track of your money. Get fancy new bookkeeping software or hire a financial advisor. you may soon be able to reward yourself with savings. Now, the reason why I said that's going to be relevant is because Uranus is about to go retrograde on Sunday, so on the 1st of September. And Uranus has been in Taurus for ages anyway, and it will be, but until, wait a minute, that's testing my memory. It goes into Gemini next year, basically. And that'll be like a huge shift, so we'll focus on that at the time. But right now, it's interesting actually. It's what happened the other day. Like, this is what I mean about, like, it's intuitive astrology. It's like channeled astrology, really, that comes to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's very ancient, kind of, that when I said about when I got drawn to the algol thing the other day, that they must have been trying to remind me that basically when algol goes into when Uranus goes retrograde, it's basically round about now. It is the mark of algol, and like I read that out the other day, they refer to it as a demon star. That kind of says you need to know, but it's got a lot to do with things to do with around the head area. So and it can quite often be literally things to do with like, anyway, just like injuries around the head area and stuff. But I've never heard anyone else say this, but I actually feel it can be like when you get your head bitten off. Because when I think about where it is in my chart, I have experience. I mean, but who hasn't experienced getting their head bitten off? But like, yeah, the way it is in my chart, it's kind of interesting. I can think of quite a few times in my life where that has happened. Like, where somebody takes out all their shit on you, like projects it at you. But like I said, that could be any of us. Like, any of us could have done it, and any of us can have it done to us. But it's just, what I'm trying to say is, look at where the Taurus is in your chart, because Uranus shakes shit up. Like us, you hear me say all the time, if you're not new, my moon conjunct Uranus. So that's why I shake shit up in people's lives too. It's kind of like, it's part of being a spiritual catalyst, being a healer. But it's just, I'm a healer by a difference in that way, that it really does shake shit up. So it's initially, it could seem like, what the fuck is going on? And you're like a bolt of lightning. But after, you're like, wow, shit, all that needed to happen because I was living a lie, So that's why I just accept, not everybody can handle the type of healing that comes. A lot of people do just want to live in denial and live in a lie, and then look, that's just spoke about that. Although don't do that, because I've been there in my life where, there would be letters coming through the door, and I would never open them. Now, I didn't really know what that was all about. It used to confuse me, but then when I realised that I had ADHD and dyslexia and all these other things, it made perfect sense. Like, I used to get so overwhelmed, and I couldn't I couldn't handle it. But that can be dangerous, because then you're going to get yourself in all sorts of bother. Now, I don't do that anymore, and I'm actually very proud of how I keep up with my finances and everything. But like, I make no fucking secret about it, just for being God's messenger. Basically, God makes sure I survive, but it can get pretty kind of like, what the fuck's going on here? So that's why I'm a brilliant person to guide people in these times, because I've always been great at helping other people sort their head out with their finances and everything like that. And definitely, if you're in loads of debt or anything like that, like, you just have to start somewhere and climb out of stuff. But it's like I said, I've got a very different way of looking at things. But because my Uranus is in the house of money, Taurus, right? I just go with the punch. I roll with the punches, right? Sometimes money's great, sometimes it's not so great. It's very up and down roller coaster. That's what that placement means. But like I've said before, it can also mean in later life, it's the kind of people that can be like overnight millionaires and shit like that. So you heard it here first, guys. But again, it's like, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm just, yeah, it doesn't. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens to me later on in life, because I'm not bothered about it. You know what I mean? Like law of detachment. When you're not obsessed with it, things do actually tend to come easier. So but then that would, like, with the kind of person I am, I would be pouring it into to doing things to help others. I just keep doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Just be able to help more people. So And I'm not going to say, oh, I'd give it all away to charity, because basically, like, a lot of these charities are actually corrupt. I would give money if I won a shitload of money or just made a ridiculous amount of money. I would give money to charities, but I'd make sure they were genuine local ones. Like, that's whenever I've ran for like children's cancer and stuff, and I knew it was a genuine charity because it's just this amazing guy, like a couple that yeah, just absolutely amazing souls that I used to come into contact with when I worked in the hospital, and I knew that they were genuine. So I would, whenever I run, rather than running for the big cancer charities, I ran for the more local one. But things like that, like, I'm just very wary that, like, anyway, it's not it's certainly making me intrigued, especially because when I was tidying up yesterday, I randomly picked up the Venus and Taurus card, and this is about Venus and Taurus in the second house. Venus rules Taurus, right? So Venus in Taurus is, quite an abundant energy. And the second house is, well, that's just what I was saying there. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I'm saying this because some of you might have similar energy, where if you've had quite a rocky road up and down life with your relationship with money, you could be like, it could be destined that later on in life, you could, yeah, you could come into some kind of sudden windfall or something. So, like, maybe that's going to happen to someone out there. It might not be me, it might be one of you, because I'm channel the energy. But let's just see. It's kind of interesting. I'm just going with the flow with this. But it won't happen if you bury your head in the sand and ignore those letters. So somebody's doing that, open them up, no judgment, because like I said, I've done it too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even kidding, right? Like, that, I'm so honest, but again, this is one of the downsides of all the planets of my 8th house, which is about debt, right, and other people's money. And I was so bad with that sometimes when I've moved house, because I've moved house so many times, I'll find like random boxes, right, where I've put like, I've put like all my old journals and papers and blah blah blah, and in amongst the papers, which is obviously just when you've been packing that, like, I'm actually looking at a box like that now. I'm looking at a box full of papers and journals and that in this office, which there's other boxes on top of it, because it's see-through. Guaranteed that there'll be closed letters in there somewhere, right? Or like, bank fees or something like that. And it's you know what I mean? I've still got them for like years and years and years ago, because it's like when I've packed up my house in a hurry, like, because leaving it to the last minute, again, because, that'd be some people's worst nightmare, but again, because of all the difficulties that I've got, it's, I would be doing it last minute, and I would be grateful that I would be having people helping me, but we just chuck things in and go. I don't think it wasn't quite, the last time, the last few times it wasn't actually like that, because one of the times that I left one of my places before here, this is why, so I have no idea why I'm going into this, but again, I'm going to trust it. I think that, oh no, actually, that makes sense, because it's about decluttering. Duh. Sorry, I don't like to say duh to myself or anyone, but I did just do it. So, I actually got rid of like 15 black bags worth of, now some would call it crap, but it wasn't crap. It was like things that I'd kept. It was like, clothes that, oh, like, I'll sell that on eBay one day, or I'll fit that one day, or a photo frame that I worked out I'd had like 15 years, and, oh, I'll give that to someone for a present, or I'll use it. And it was like, the thing was going discoloured. I'd had it that long, you know what I mean? It was decent when I got it, but I'd kept it long. So again, I feel there's some of you that might have shit like that going on. So it's just so that you know, I'm really good at helping people with things like that, online or in person, because I've been that person too. And it does, again, I've got loads of placements in my chart that, it's hard to let go of things, but it's like I've kind of went the other way with it now, it depends what we're talking about here, but, that's always symbolic or something. So when I got rid of all of that, it really lightened the load, and I felt so much better within myself, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, because I just got rid of all that physical stuff. So somebody might be doing that right now, or you need to do it, and it could have even been as a result of, if you've done any kind of energy clearing, last week. And again, you could be like, oh, all I done was like listen to, music for whatever when you say, or all I done was smudge, or, it's kind of like, but it's the fact that if you're even intending on taking part in this group effort, as I looked at 1441 there, mirrored numbers, Twinflames, I'm holding the intention that whoever's mostly privately, silently lurking wanting to do this, I'm holding that intention for all of us as the group facilitator. Do you know what I mean? And my intention is powerful. So I do believe, I believe you're going to have a big shift in energy where you want it to, but are you ready for the change? And that brings me nicely on to why I feel, that's kicking about. Uranus and Taurus in your chart, wherever the Taurus in your chart is going to, when it goes retrograde on Sunday, like this weekend, there's going to be big shake-ups. There's going to be big changes wherever that is in your chart, and depending on where is that in your chart, that could be big. So, for instance, if you actually happen to have Taurus in the second house, it would be changes in finances. Now, like I said, it could go either way, basically. So be open to miracles, but just be on it with, like, because that's might be what this is about. Or if you've got Taurus in the seventh house, it could be shake-ups of relationships, like, you know what I mean? So if you're in a relationship, shake-ups and breakups and, and or improvement, it doesn't always need to be a bad thing. Like, usually if someone's in a relationship, it's kind of an interesting time. But equally, yeah, if you're single, it can be like you could have been single for like years on end, and then boom, here's your person. And it would be tower moments, like landing in your lap like a tower moment and shaking shit up. Where's another one? If it's in your 12th house, you could be going through a really intense spiritual awakening, and it could all be quite hidden. Like that, actually, that could be like some of the masculine energies, regardless of gender, like some of the women, especially that I've worked with, where, you could be having to run a household and, have a family and everything like that, but privately going through a really intense awakening. I know that's going to either speak to people right now or you've already went through that. So anyway, just giving you a wee bit of background, because basically there's so many things going on, because there's also Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn a couple of days after that. So yeah, that happens on Sunday, and then Monday, I think we've got Pluto in Capricorn, and then basically it's the new moon on the next day. So do you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of shit happening, big huge transformation. So like I said in the one yesterday, this is quite noisy. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to pick. Oh, actually, there's the astro dice are in with all those wee stones. I'm going to pick a sign, and then I'll just see what I'm guided to say when I Scorpio. Right, that's interesting, because one of the examples I was going to give was if the Taurus was in your 8th house, 8th house is Scorpio, it could be things about money too. Like it could be shaking up unpredictable events to do with, well, actually, that could be inheritance as well, but it's like, basically like going through some kind of big transformation, awakening to actually death and rebirth. Somebody could actually change their whole personality. You could like die to who you were before and be born again, kind of thing as well. There could be big things going on with twin flames as well, because the 8th house is what I connect to as the sacred union, sexual union. Which is why the 7th house would be intense too, because that's the spiritual marriage, but obviously if people are in literal marriages, it would shake up connections and actual marriages too. So definitely ones that I would call karmic marriages. Like I've done a channeling on that before a few weeks ago, that it's like any marriages that weren't built to last because they're not for your highest good, those kind of things will break down too. So you can see basically anywhere, or like if it was in your 4th house, if Taurus is in your 4th house, you could have like, unpredictable sort of stuff going on with family, like, acting different, or good stuff or bad stuff. It's just all, yeah, could go on and on and on here. But actually, wait a minute, let's just, because they're quite noisy, but I do just, that's what I mean, like, they're really beautiful, those wee stones. So even, I think I thought I might just put them out as like decorative sort of. Yeah, I might do that for the next one. Anyway, but let's just, because it sprang to mind, and because I'm just... Now, actually, I've just thought about something. Right, if you don't know what I'm on about... Oh, wait a minute, you won't know what I'm on about. That's hilarious. Oh my God. That's because I've just watched back a big video that I done last night, but I feel I'm being guided to just hold it back till like maybe like a month or, a few weeks of filming in Pisces. I might end up just putting out, but I basically said, would you like me to use? So maybe you have answered me telepathically, because I always believe when it. Well, I don't just believe it. I know it's true, because people have actually had weird experiences where they've felt what I was putting out, because it's healing as well. I was basically asking, do you want me to use these astro dice? Because, you know, there's loads of channels that use these all the time. But I was just basically sort of saying that, like, I find it a bit boring, you know what I mean? But I suppose it's like it's basically, it doesn't really matter if I find it boring. If you want me to do that, I'll do that, you know, for the community. And I suppose it's just a fun wee added thing because you know I'm all about astrology. But like I said, I've had these astro dice for like for, I don't know, like 5 years or something like that. But yeah, but like I think what they might do to me is I wouldn't be surprised if they do actually throw out what's going on with the actual astrology. But let's just see. So it's could be a world astrology or something to do with you. So now this is the funniest thing is when I'm doing that, I'm like, I can see it when it's in the list, but that's either Saturn or Jupiter. Let me just. Yeah, it's up that way. I thought it was Saturn. But this is what I mean. I can identify it when it's in context, but sometimes. So that's Saturn in Capricorn. What's the Capricorn symbol here? It looks weird on that dice. It looks weird on that dice. Oh. Yeah, it is Capricorn. So Saturn, oh my god, they have done it. Oh my god, that's so creepy. Oh no, they haven't. They haven't. Because it's Saturn's in Pisces. But I was thinking it was Pluto and Capricorn, which I've just been talking about. But I do think, you know, it kind of is, because Saturn rules Capricorn. So even that's kind of cool, you know. And then the ninth house. So if that is specific to somebody, you could have Saturn in Capricorn in your ninth house. And then I suppose if the rest resonated with you, that would be pretty significant. But you would have to know. I mean, but the funny thing is, a lot of people, you might actually have that and you don't know because you don't, you know your astrology. Like, but yeah. But anyway, that's what I mean. So if you want me to do that, I'm not going to do it in every video, but I'll do it now and again. I might do it in these SOS ones. But it was just because those all them, and like I said, those crystals are kicking about there too, so I might just put them in the video sometimes for decorative sort of things. I used them for a thumbnail once, that's what I said in the video last night. But by the way, the one that I done, the Twinflame therapy I done last night was like, it was intense, and it was intense. They're really intense when I'm doing them every night. But anyway, I'll put it out when I'm meant to. Right, so yeah, I think there's just a lot of stuff coming through about finances. This card appeared 3 times. I got drawn to 1111 on the timer, on the actual time, and then this came out too. So there is something really significant about 1111. Like, either you or your twin has seen 1111 everywhere. 1111 is an important number for twin flames. It symbolises harmony and balance as whole counterparts, but I just feel it is about, like, you know, things are balancing out for a lot of twins right now. I can't stop hiccuping. And when I can't stop hiccuping, that is when I'm clearing a lot of energy. So let's actually just shuffle these, because I didn't even shuffle. What else does somebody need to know? Because that's why I love just seeing what comes out. But and that's what I do in every video, even when there is a structure. I just see what comes out. But what else does somebody need to know? Focused around the mind, please. So there's definitely something about decluttering your mind of worries around finances, and that might involve, like that said, get a financial advisor, get a financial planner, get an accountant. But you might be like, well, I've not got any money, so how could... So that's kind of funny, isn't it? It's like, well, it's not funny, but it's like, it's interesting that if you did need to sort your finances, but then you can't afford the person to help you sort your finances, it's kind of like that's when I would say, especially because today's shorts was about be open to a miracle, you know. Like, I've often, like, been the person that's like, somebody has prayed for some kind of help, like healing or help with something, especially if they didn't have the money to, like, go and get the help from a healer, or go and get the help from somebody to help them with something. Like, you're like, said, I'm good at loads of shit, like help people with business and blah blah blah, and you know, and I'm a counsellor, so it's always going to, even if I can't help you the practical problem, which by the way, a lot of the time I can, because I've got Mercury retrograde and Taurus in the 6th house, so I'm actually very good at helping people with practical problems, like coming up with solutions. Like, for instance, like, it's quite a lot of times in sessions, I'll be like, look, I'm being told that, you know, you need to get a lawyer for X, Y, and Z. And that's where, you know, I've not got the expertise there, but I'm being told that if you do this, and it's like, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. It's like, I might be the person that's like, this is what you need to do, or you need to go. Because true shamans, like, you know, it's about collaboration. And Saturn in Pisces is unconditional love as well. And when the Pluto in Aquarius right now, but only for a few days before it shifts back into Capricorn, you know, when Pluto shifts back into Aquarius after its visit in Capricorn, it's going to be a different time, you know, moving forward. There's going to be dark times, but it's about helping people out. And that's basically what I'm saying is there's so many people that I have just serendipitously, you know, like I'll have just been inspired to do like I don't know, to just do free readings that day, or you know, there have been, you know, there's been times over many of the years, and even recently like this year, like I'll just come across somebody and I'll just feel, and this is it's very unusual that I would offer my help to someone only because um and even if it's free, you see, because like I don't go to people, they come to me. You're just meant to find me if you need me, sort of thing, whether you know me or not. Like, you know, that's why you'll see when people are scamming and that, you know, it's like, I'll never reach out to you because that is the truth. But there are occasions when, like, if I do bump into people in person or even online and I'm like, right, this is like so obvious I'm meant to help this person, then I might do some kind of, but it would always just be, look, you know, that problem that you're having is something that I help people with, and whenever I've done that, I have helped them for free, and it's because of me reaching out. But like I said, I don't tend to be doing that because it's like it's not very balanced for me when I'm, you know, I need to receive back. So, but basically the point is I've done that many times over the years, or I've done people favors where, and like yes, I have had my fingers burned, so be careful with doing that. Like I don't regret it because we live and we learn, and also it's people that really needed the help and whatever. And like I always say, there's karma around money. So I suppose the point is, like, look, it's with all these planets in my 8th house, I'm going to stress that even more. It's don't overlook if you get some kind of free help that comes your way from a healer like me or from anybody that helps you like that, you know, don't take it for granted. Like, think about it that, oh my God, like somebody actually would have had to pay a lot of money to get what I just got from that person or from anyone. And I've somehow miraculously ended up in this place in my life where I've received this person's help for free, or like what happens with me in pretty much every session. Even when people pay for a session, I end up giving above and beyond, like ridiculous amounts, if you know you know, like as in time wise, and time is money, you know what I mean? So I feel there's something about being grateful about things like that, like just realizing and not thinking like that stuff like that doesn't just happen to everyone every day, but it does actually happen to people too. Do you know what I mean? Because you've manifested it. And look, I'm just being drawn to a card that says manifesting. What does it say behind that? Oh, look. Powerful. Now, oh God, fuck's sake. Right, so my eyes are being guided to that, right? Manifestation. And remember, the last week of doing this, right, towards the autumn equinox is going to be about the physical manifestation. And then I got guided to this card. I see signs of you everywhere I go, right? That was 11:11. But now is not the right time. Now that one was, I didn't know what that said until I flipped it over because that was in reverse. So that's obviously like one of the masculines, you know, desperately chipping in there to be like, this person is seeing signs of you everywhere they go, but for whatever reason it's not the right time. And now it could see how it could link into what I was just saying about people going through relationship changes. But it doesn't need to be relationship changes. People could be going through hard times and money. It's just, or that could be you. What the fuck does that mean? Right, so serves them right, let's see. So I thought it was going to be about 30 minutes because I said sometimes it's 30 minutes. And this one's really, I'm going to watch this a bit. This one's really interesting. It's quite, like, I don't know, random, but sometimes the best way to balance your life is to step outside it. Take a break from your regular schedule and volunteer in your neighbourhood. Look what I was just saying. And that's basically kind of like what I was just saying. I have sometimes, and again, a lot of times, just volunteered to help somebody for free. And then a lot of people can be like, what's the catch? And there isn't a catch. It's just because I work for God, first and foremost. I'm one of God's messengers. I work for God. Like, I do this every day, and this is my work, you know what I mean? And I know that I have to do this because, like I've said before, if I don't give out messages, I get ill. Like, it's not just like kind of like, oh, I'm getting antsy, I'm getting bored. It's like I actually start to get unwell because I'm meant to give out healing messages. But also, equally, if I don't watch the balance, and I was doing free sessions, like every session I was doing was free, which, by the way, that's what that test was about a few months back, like when I was doing, basically I was doing free sessions for people that were new. But, and although all the people I'd done that way, I had amazing connections with you all and everything. And basically I feel like it gave a lot, it wasn't the case for everyone, but it probably gave a lot of people that maybe weren't in a financial position to be able to get the session with me. It basically, like I'm saying, it was a miracle. So that, oh yeah, I get why they're saying that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's, I believe I was meant to do that for that period of time because it got me to help people I needed to help. But then it was interesting that I got led to on the new, I think it was the new moon in Gemini, because that was in my 8th house. Yeah, it must have been. All the stuff about that I shouldn't basically be doing that one to one. Like, not, and it's not you that'll know. It's not because it's harmful to you, it's because it's extremely harmful to me. Like, if I help somebody for free one to one, it basically, like, I'm giving them permission to fuck with my energy. So that ain't happening because, again, this Empress is very protective of her own energy and other people's energy. But yeah, so I'm just sharing that for the rest of you that might think you're being a good Samaritan by doing free one to ones, but you take some kind of donation because yeah, you don't know, you got that. And it's why I said that again the other day, like, you might think it's a bit much, but you've got to be very discerning in these times because yeah, you just don't know how much you just, when people haven't, you just don't know how much shadow integration people have done in that. And you don't, and sadly I've just always known that about when I was on Facebook and stuff. Like, anybody that worked really close to me will know that. Like, I was always wary about kind of getting involved in people's like groups and stuff like that because I'm like, I just saw it go downhill with like so many friends of mine, or where people just go weird with me, but and it's just awkward. I mean, so that's why, like, God, when I got away from fuckbook and Insta fuck stuff. Fuck, oh my god, I better not call it that. Probably is something of this. There probably is something out there like that. Fucking hell, hilarious. Yeah, like I just didn't miss all of that. All the kind of, oh, I like your picture. Oh yeah, you're my best friend. Oh, I like this. And it's like, you know what I mean. There's so much kind of unconscious envy, and jealousy, and it's just, yeah, it's just, oh, I can't stand it all. But anyway, so but yeah, just look out for that. You know what I mean? It's like, basically the point is, be open for miracles, right? Don't think, oh, I've not got any money, I'm never going to be able to get the help that I need, how am I going to do it? Like, you're just going to attract more and more and more lack. Whereas, you know what you could do? And people have heard me say this for years. Get on YouTube and find an abundance meditation. And if your money's really that bad, set a date to listen. Oh yeah, see what they're doing with the mindset. This is to do with the mindset. Set a date to listen to that every single day at the same time so that you don't listen to it one day and then you don't do it again. Commit to it, like reprogram your subconscious mind. And you could actually, really sort a lot of your limiting beliefs out around money. But equally, I always share about my own experience because I'm not going to be, I just refuse to be one of those people that's like, follow your spiritual calling and the money will just, God will look after you and it will just all come to you and you'll never have to want for anything. It does work out like that for some people. And honestly, it's amazing when things like that happen to people. And especially when things like that happen to good people. I love to see that happen. But that doesn't happen like that just as easily. Because what I'm saying is, I'm always looked after, right? God always looks after me. But often it can come through, like I've said it before, like God can always look after me through other people. And I just looked at the word angel. And what have I said loads of times? My mum is my angel. Because my mum would never see me without. But I also had to recognise at one point in my life too, I'm like, wait a minute, I fucking love my mum and my dad and, my family, but it's like, she's not going to be here one day. And then, it's kind of like I can't always be so dependent. So then that's when I untangled myself from that dependency. But like I've said all the time, it's like there's still, I just feel, that's just, there's a level of like codependency that's always going to be if you think about it, it's because like I'm dyslexia, dyspraxia, blah, blah, blah. It's like ADHD, my mum's always going to have that natural innate protection around me, right? Because that's what mums are meant to be like. And I know that not everyone's mum is like that. But again, that's why if your mum isn't like that, or if you've not got a mum anymore, I'm your mum here. And even if you're older than me, if you want me to be, if you don't want me to be, you're like, fuck off, whatever, what you talking about, like, then, but it's kind of like Mama Wolf, Mama Bear vibes around here. But what I'm saying is, I actually couldn't do that for all of you if my mum wasn't so amazing. And I'm going to stop talking right now and I'm going to start crying. But the point is be open to miracles, because miracles do happen. I've brought miracles people's way many a time, by just giving my time for free that other people pay loads of money for. You know what I mean? Depends on what it is. But also, if you've already had things like that from anyone that's given it to you, just think about, wow, that was amazing when I was given that opportunity. And don't be one of the people that takes opportunity and runs and then doesn't. Well, it depends actually, because the ones I'm talking about, I've just done that out the kindness of my heart, and there wasn't any kind of agreement for people to pay me back later. But now they're starting to talk about ones that are different, where there was an agreement where I'll help you now, and then give me that back when you've got the money. And 9 times out of 10, anyone I've ever done that with, not 9 times out of 10, because there have been people that have given it back, but there's things that happen like people will prolong giving you the money back, which is cheeky basically, and it can just be awkward. And or they will just do a runner. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's what I mean. But I don't stop working the way I work, because it's I genuinely even do feel some of the people that have bumped me, is what we'd say here, they must have really needed it, and there must be things going on. And it's, at the end of the day, it's just money. And that's where that wise advice from my dad came in from many years ago, when I was in a situation when it's like, look, just give them the money and they've lost a friend, kind of thing. Because it was something that I was in the right about, but I was like, just give them money and, get them the fuck, kind of thing. He didn't say like that, but it was kind of pretty much, and it's right, and it's true, and it's, so I feel there might be something like maybe I'm talking about small scale stuff here, but maybe there's something going on in your life where you're in the right and you could keep digging your heels in about money, and or just fucking let it go. Like, and maybe it's the things to do, like it's a large amount, but just chuck the money at them and they've no got you anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm saying that, and it's worth the video being longer, but or it could be like similar things, like to me, you've had your fingers burnt, like you've made an agreement with someone to get the money back later, and they don't give you it. Because sometimes, like, let's face it, there might be innocent cases where sometimes people forget, but I don't think so. Most of the time it's like people know, and they just kind of they just don't prioritize it. And I suppose that's a lesson as well. Don't be don't be so compassionate that you allow people to take the piss like that. But I'm just going to say, if people work in a similar way to me, there is always going to be somebody that takes the piss, but don't let it stop you from having a good heart, because I certainly haven't let it stop me. But like I said, I don't do free one-to-one sessions anymore, unless, I suppose, if it was a giveaway. But I'm going to have to watch with that too. It's like, there does need to be some kind of exchange to protect the person that's providing it. But yeah, just be grateful. Be grateful for the miracles that come your way, I suppose, or just be open to them, because they do happen. Because I've been a deliverer of, like I said, giving my services away for free to people. It's when God guides me to. And there's many people that do that out there. There's people that dedicate, like, think about, like that's what I was just saying, like that couple I was just talking about, just set up that charity to help families that are dealing with children with cancer. I mean, you know what I mean? And they'll probably still be doing it. I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't be, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like there are people out there that, they're guided to do things like that. And again, that's very Saturn in Pisces. What Saturn is work, and Pisces is unconditional love. An hour a week can offer you a new perspective on your life and your community. Consider causes, places, or groups you're drawn to and what organisations serve them. Then call to explore their volunteer opportunities. You can start by helping out a fundraiser, a holiday soup kitchen. Whether you decide to sit with the dying or clean up a river, the humanity you touch in yourself and others will increase your own sense of value of life. That is amazing, right? And it's kind of like, so for the literally for the next few days, if you're watching this real time, Pluto, planet of rebirth and transformation, death, life, it is in give back to humanity Aquarius. And then in a few days, it's going back in to Capricorn, okay? We've been in that for a long time before it had shifted it, and it's kind of dark, It's Capricorn is the strict headmaster, and it does not fuck about. Saturn rules Capricorn, remember, and it's about things that are, yeah. The Huffin actually says it all. It's hard work, So Pluto being in Capricorn again for a couple of months until it shifts back, I think the 19th of November. It's going to be an interesting couple of months of strict death and rebirth transformation of the world stage, governments, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Money, definitely, with the Uranus going retrograde in Taurus, because it's already been with Uranus and Taurus, but Uranus retrograde in Taurus is going to shake up shit. That's the world stage, and then it affects you wherever it is in your life. And again, if you want me to go into like how I do that, because again, I do, like I said, I weave my own type of astrology in with like my shamanic way of being and my mediumship, sometimes the loved ones and spiritual tripping, and with the new earth frequencies that I've been in for a long time. That's so basically it's a very much my own kind of session. Yeah, if you want it to be around the chart, the best session to book would probably be well, if you want a really deep dive into your chart, it would be the Psychic Astrology Empowerment, and that's more of an investment. But if you want me to look at your chart just in real time and see just look at where the Taurus is, and it just gives you a bit of time, time to have a chat and just time for me to feel into what's going on in your chart, then that would be the astrotherapy session. But I'll leave you wanting more, I will say, it'll leave you wanting more, because that's not the full me looking at your whole chart kind of thing. Yeah. What else does the rest of this say? Yeah, but yeah, it's just everything like what we're saying, wasn't it? It's like, because it's quite interesting, and this person's humour is like mine, but it's like whether you decide to sit with the dying, and again, that is something that I do, you know what I mean? Like, I'm also a soul midwife. It gets called other things as well, but it's like not only am I here to birth new life, but I'm also guided to be with people when they're either going through difficult stages in life, like a death of the ego into their new self, or I have actually sat with people on their deathbeds and stuff as well. So, it's an interesting life, and like I said, and again, talking about money, all of those times are nothing to do with money. Actually, all of those times are nothing to do with money. So yeah, you know what I mean? It's not everybody's work is the same as everyone else's, but and I've got a wee text there, so I'm gonna go. So yeah, this wasn't an SOS one, but very interesting, hope it helped you, and I'll see you for the next video.